Yes, Bala, able to view our screen.
Okay, welcome all for the share market winners group. I have given the disclaimers below. I am not a SEBI registered consultant. You can always uh, see my updates, but it is all for the knowledge sharing purpose, and you can use that knowledge and you can make an decisions based on or you can consult with your financial advisors to make informed decisions to make any investments. Okay, so with that note, I will start on about the topic. Today we are going to discuss about um, technical analysis session. So previously we have seen topics about fundamental analysis. Um, in the fundamental analysis, basically which will help us to identify the stock, which is actually useful to identify the stock, but which will not give any um, entry or exit point, when to enter, is it a good time to enter, those we cannot decide with the help of a fundamental analysis. However, technical analysis is one of the key, I would say, which will help us to um, analyze the market and predict the trend and the prices based on different parameters like volume and is there any potential opportunity for entry or exit. That decisions can be made with the help of technical analysis. In a simple terms, if you call it technical analysis, it's nothing but a human behavior is what I would call it. Okay. Um, Technical analysis depends upon um, the trends and patterns is what I've told you, right? So those trends and patterns are formed in the market based on the human greed and fear. Okay, so um, if the price increases, that's because there is a overwhelming of human interest towards that particular stock, so that the stocks starts moving in the upward direction. And at a particular point, if the people think there is a price where it reaches the maturity or the supply zone, then they feel it is going to, with the fear, they will keep selling it and it will push the price of that stock to downtrend. Okay, that's what it causes the pattern in the market. So these price movements basically based on the human behavior which causes this movement. Pretty much this is, yeah, we can able to see this pattern follow in a particular fashion, so we can able to actually capture that. So what, by doing those technical analysis, we will be able to make a informed decisions by understanding those patterns. So that's why technical analysis is one of the key parameters for a, let's say, a short-term trader or intraday traders. They will have a predictions based on this technical analysis. If you are going to be a long-term investors, mostly you would do the fundamental analysis to identify the stock, and then if you know a technical analysis to an extent, you will be able to invest and um, maintain the stock until the stock reverses, or at a particular point if you feel that you can book your profits. Okay, but if you wanted to make a short-term investments or a intraday, technical analysis plays a major role. How do we do a technical analysis? That's what we are going to see next. Um, how do we study the chart patterns? That is something or the key for the technical analysis. Okay, that's what we are going to see in the next slides. Any questions before I move on to the next slide? Okay, So why do we want to do a technical analysis? One, identify the overall trend, how the trend looks like, and identify the area of value such as support and resistance level. So as I said, there is a um, human behavior attached to this technical analysis, because of which the value of the stock might go or up or down. So that depends, that prediction is what we are going to do, based on which we can able to make a entry and exit points. So um, if I wanted to make a risk exposure or a position size, that will give me a confidence based on um, what type of entry which I'm making, whether it is the right time to make an entry, whether I allow to make my risk exposure more or less, whether the position which I'm going to take, whether I can take it in a with a lesser quantity or a lesser price. So that's what it all deals with technical analysis. With by doing that, we can make these actions so that I can make a benefit out of it. Okay. How to perform technical analysis? So to perform a technical analysis, you should be knowing what is the trend currently it's going on. Basically, there are three trends. One is upward trend, downward trend, or a sideward. So in a market, there is only always a three trend, whether it is a index or a stock or a any commodities that you trade. So only these trend applicable. Either it should go up or down or in a sideways. It doesn't go in a downtrend. It seems to be trading within a particular range. That is called as a sideways market. Okay. That will help you to decide what type of strategy you wanted to apply, whether you wanted to enter into the market and hold that position for a while, or you wanted to um, just keep quiet, watch for the right time to entry. So unless you know this uptrend or a downtrend or a sideways, you will not be able to make the position onto the particular stock. Okay, so that is important. Next is, when you know what type of trend it is, you need to also know where is the support and resistance. In general, what is support is, if you're being supported by multiple people, you will feel healthy. Okay, the same thing happens in the market as well. If it is getting supported, the price of that particular stock will rises up, and if it is being resistant in a particular point, the price of the stocks will fall. That's because of people tend to sell that stock, so it keep falling to an extent where it reaches where the more buyers trying to buy that stock. Okay, so so you need to able to find out what are the support and resistance level that you have to mark it, so that you will be able to know when to enter, when to exit. Okay, so by drawing the support and resistance, you will be able to identify the entry and the exit point for the particular stocks. This all applicable for even for a long term or a short term as well. Okay, with that, we'll also have to use multiple other indicators so that it will give a clarity in terms of whether it is a false positive or it could be a true, at the sense it will, whether it is a good time to exit the trade because it might fall further to make much more losses. So these are by doing a technical analysis, you will be able to achieve it. Okay, any questions? I'll give a pause here. Okay, I hope you are all able to clearly understand my articulation, right? Okay,
Yeah, Bala.
Yes, so far good.
okay, thank you. So now the first point which we discussed, identify the trend. Okay, so the trend, we what I have given some chart here about the Hindustan Unilever. You can see the downward trend. Okay, falling from a particular price range of 2750, and it falls to a point of 2000, somewhere around 500. So this trend seems to be a downtrend. Okay, even though there are slight up and down, but you can pretty much able to see the trend is in the down. And similarly, the upward trend, it is a short trend, however it is a upward trend. Okay, similarly there is a downtrend. So you can see in a market there will be a downtrend or uptrend or a sideways, where there is no much of a movement. It will be trading within the range which is called as a sideways range or a range bound. Okay, it will be applicable for stocks as well as to the index as well. Okay, so how do we plot it? I will show you in a bit of time, but this is how we'll have to do a trend analysis, whether that particular stock is in a downtrend or an uptrend, based on which you can make a position whether you go for a long or a short. Okay, this is one example of finding a trend. Next is support and resistance. Okay, so support and resistance, basically wherever the price started moving up from a particular point, that is called as a support area for that stock. And these are nothing but a candlestick. We have discussed this in the last few sessions, where the pattern of the price movement can be detected in various different um, candles, Iganishi candle or a candlestick pattern or a line chart. We can use a different charts to identify the pattern of which the price movement is happening. Okay, right now I'm using this candlestick patterns to give you a view of what what is going to be a support and what is going to be a resistance. Okay, so you will be able to see at a particular point the price starts moving up, that becomes a support. If you wanted to see what is the support for this particular point, rem, uh, think that if you are in this point, and what would happen next is it can either the the stock price movement can move up to this level, or it can go up to the bottom. When it comes to the bottom, because of the previous movements which happened or being supported but multiple points, this becomes a strong support. When the price falls to this point, it will be get supported by the users or the consumers. It starts again rising up. So whenever the price moves and touch this point or this region, it becomes a support. And if it breaks this support, it will try to sustain, or if it can't sustain and the next candle opens below, then it will try to move below and try to take a next support level. Okay, so this is the support, and resistance is nothing but when it hits the range where already hit and it reversed, that becomes the resistance line. And similarly, it will go to the next resistance. You can see this is one resistance line, and the price has increased from this point and reached to this point. At this point you can see a resistance, but if it breaks this resistance and traveled beyond that level and formed a full candle above this, then this will become a support. Okay, to the point until to the point until it resists and drops back, it becomes a resistance. If it crosses above and it sustains, and if it starts moving up, that will become a support. Are you clear? Are you all clear?
Yeah, Bala.
Okay.
Just one question, Bala. I mean, when we can say that whether it's a support or resistance, based on how many points is reached to the maximum or minimum in different time zones. So, can we decide with the based on 3 or 4 points, or we require more points to conclude that this is a support point or this is a resistance point?
Okay. So that again depends upon what type of trader you are. Okay. If you are going to be a short-term trader and whatever the plot you are seeing here is on the day candle. Okay. So day candle will be useful for a short-term trader or a short-term investor. Okay. If you are going to be a day trader, then you have to use the 15 minutes, 5 minutes candles or a time frame to trade it. In that you will have to plot the support and resistance line. Okay. So you are asking how many candles I will have to wait. That's not how it works. This is depends upon how you wanted to trade it. Basically, if you are a daytime intraday trader, then you will have to use a day day candle charts to plot the support and resistance. However, you will follow the 5 minutes or a 10 minutes or a 15 minutes time frame to do the intraday. In that also you will have the candlesticks pattern where it will hit the support or a resistance and it will bounce back or it will cross the resistance level. Is it answering your question?
Yeah, somewhat. Yeah, because I'm saying that this one, the time zone is it's ranging from July to
Yeah, this
almost
is yeah, this is
Jan.
this is an
So
example. This is
yeah,
an
I
example to show
yeah.
you how do we plot the support and resistance. Um,
Okay.
in case it is for a short-term trading, you can consider a day and you can see how that support and resistance being respected by the price
Yeah.
price movements.
Okay. Okay. Fine. Yeah.
Yeah, we will anyway
Yeah.
see some examples of
Yeah.
in the anyway today there is no market in not in the live market. However, from the previous day charts or previous um, months chart, we can able to see that. Okay, in a while I'll walk you through on those to see how to plot the support and resistance. Okay, this is to explain you to understand whether you know what is support and what is resistance.
Yeah. Well, thanks.
Okay, so this is very important for you. Even if you don't know nothing about trading, um, in case you wanted to try, if you are able to plot the support and resistance, when it comes to the down, you buy and hold it unless you have to be very sure after touching the support, it has moved a point and then you can take a position, it will go to a particular point, you can wait until the resistance, and after resistance, if it sustain above, well and good. If it is not sustaining, it is keep falling or being resisted at that point, you can exit that position. So that's the way you can able to capture the short-term trade if you are not knowing much about um, further chart pattern analysis or technical analysis, which we are going to discuss. Okay, so if you are able to plot support and resistance, you'll know where the support. Basically, this is the area where um, if you see this area and this area, pretty much there are um, resistance and there are people who are in a fear. That's why it got pushed back. But however, there is a strong will from the buying side. It pushes the price point to move further up. Okay, so you can see this is there is a resistance here as well and here as well. So in this point, whenever it comes, you can see there is a bearish movement happens in the price. Okay, so if you are able to plot the resistance line, then you will be able to know, okay, this is the area where we can enter and this is the area where we have to exit in a short-term trading or a swing trading. Okay, so I'm moving on to the next slide. Um, what we so far seen is how we have to identify the trend, how we wanted to find the support and resistance line, and then next is the various chart patterns. Okay, there are multiple chart patterns. We have also discussed about this chart pattern in the previous fundamental as well, but this is a form of a technical analysis to identify what type of pattern it is forming, and by if you are able to plot this chart pattern, what benefits that you will get is, if you understand this is in a particular chart pattern, what happens next, you can make a informed decisions. If it comes to a double bottom, or if you know it is a double top, then at a particular neckline, if it breaks, it will go down. And if it is a falling wedge, if it breaks the um, trend line, it's a resistance line. If it breaks this point, you will have a um, profit that can be marked to an extent where you can entry and make an exit. So these are the different patterns. This is not very new. This has been being followed for ages now. Okay, this is pretty much followed in all the markets. It's not only for our market. It's applicable for all the global market, forex, everywhere it applies. Okay, so only thing is you need to know, by drawing the trend lines, you will be able to plot whether in what type of pattern it is. Then you can make your informed decisions whether to make an entry, and what is your entry point and what is your exit point, what is the stop loss that you can keep. All that you can able to um, plan it, which is a trading plan. That would help you to make an informed decision to take a position into a particular trade or in a particular script. Okay, so I'm just given this as an example. So for this, it requires this session, 1 hour session may not be sufficient to complete all that, but this I will give you an um, document, okay, which can give you a view of what is your stop loss, what is your um, target points that you can keep it, how do we find that stop loss and target points, that all that you can able to fit it. So this is an example of different patterns, and how do you want to put the target and stop loss, that's all given in a format. Okay, okay, so now I will come to the trading view, and for doing this technical analysis, you require, uh, you can also use your broker um, provided chart. Every broker will provide the charts, which you can use it. Either it could be a chart IQ or a trading view, which they will be given as part of their demat account, which you can use it. But I use primarily trading view. Okay, let me bring that for your view. Hope you are able to see my screen. Is it
Yeah,
showing the
it's
trading view?
yeah, you can
Yeah,
able to
yeah.
see.
Yeah, Bala.
Okay, all right.
Yes, Bala, back.
Good one. Okay. Okay. So um, before doing all that, you need to If you have a trading view, well and good. If you have any broker provided charts, you can use it. And trading view, they can give a free subscription as well. You can log in, but it has some limitations. With that, you will be able to see the similar view what I'm showing it, but there are limitations on indicators that you use, or mostly indicators, but the way you wanted to draw or something which they can't restrict, but there are limitations in adding the watch list, number of watch lists that you wanted. Okay. um, Anybody wants to give a name or any stock name which you wanted to plot the support and resistance first?
Just take Rajesh Exports, Bala. We'll see.
Rajesh Exports. Okay, so I'm not going to cover the trading view as a tool for you all, because this chart patterns are going to be are similar. Okay, so I've taken the trading view chart for the Rajesh Exports. Okay, so here you can able to use the what time frame you wanted to do, whether it is a day. If I'm going to do a short term or an long term investors, usually I'll go with the day or a monthly. If it is going to be a long term, I will use monthly, weekly. If it is going to be a short time or a short swing, then it is a day trend is what I will prefer. If it is going to be a intraday or a position or a options on futures, then I will prefer going into a 5 minutes. Okay, so whichever time frame I use it, all this time frame will have the similar pattern of price actions. Whether it is going up or down, you will be able to see it. Okay, so this is a 5 minutes time frame. So in a 5 minutes time frame, also you will be able to see the price moving up and down. Okay, but if you wanted to do it for a short term investments or a short term um, swing tradings, then I prefer always use the daily time frame, which is a day time frame. Okay, so this is what it is. Okay, now if I wanted to plot the support and resistance, okay, okay, from this point it's keep falling, correct? It fall, so this becomes a resistance now. Okay, I can use a trend line or a horizontal ray to plot that, to mark this is a resistance line for me now. And you can see from this point it keeps rising. It came here and it keep rising from this point. This will become a support. Okay, so if it comes to this point, next time it will try to take this support and it will bounce back. Where is this support actually coming from? This support is not in a previous stages, but you can see there is a support actually not in the last 1 year or a 2 year, but when you go back, if there is any support was there. Okay, if you can see in this point, there is one support. Okay, this is one point, another support is there. Okay, and from this point another support you can mark it. These are various support lines sitting here, and previously this is one support. Okay, just randomly I'm marking all this, just don't get confused. I'm just marking all that. If you go and look at it, you can see it has broken. It tried it tried to sustain here, but it broke this level. Let's take this one out now. It broke this level and it came down. Okay, it is not respected this support level as well. It broke down and it came down here and it tried to make a support. So it is forming a support in a different view rather than it is taking a support from the previous. If it is in this portion, you can say this will become a resistance and this will become a support, but here you don't have a reference point to check. Your reference point are always back in year 20, what is it, 2015, or somewhere in 2016. This will not be a much of an effect. However, that will give a view of how you can plot the support. Next time when it starts coming up, that positions will give you a support or a resistance, act as a support or a resistance. In this case, what happened is, in this case, you will have to plot a trend line chart. Okay, basically the trend line chart, you will have to touch the maximum coordinates and try to draw the resistance line. Wherever the price went up and tried to hit and dropped, that will become the resistance points for this one. Okay, and wherever it gets supported, that will become the support point for this one. Try to join the maximum coordinates so that you will be able to know what will become the next support or resistance. Okay, so now you will be able to find out if it crosses this point, it will be out of this channel, so it had a high chance of moving up, but there is a resistance sitting here. Okay, because previously from this point you can see the price has dropped, so there is a resistance at this point which is sitting there, so this will act as a resistance. Okay, and this will act as a support. I'll remove all this. So now you know this will be a support point and this will be a resistance point. If it crosses this point, you know this will reach 37. From 370, it can reach up to 419. Whether it will go beyond that, if the candlestick crosses this and sustains above this, there is a high chances it can move high. But you can mark another resistance here, because from this point also price is not able to move further. There could be a chance, but if it crosses beyond that, it will go further up. So likewise, you can able to plot the resistance and support wherever it gets dropped. Okay, this will become a further resistance. Okay, this will become a further resistance. Once the price has moved above this one and sustained, this will act as a support. So whenever it goes and tries to break this, if it fails to break, this will come back here and take a support. Are you clear?
Yeah, Bala.
Okay, so in best case examples, if you take here, this will act as a support. You don't, I don't know whether I can erase all that. Okay, we mark this as a support, knowing from where, from this point we know this will be a support. Okay, this is the point. You can see it got supported from here, it has rise from this point, it has rise from this point, so we will take this as a support. Okay, next time when the price came here, ideally it should become a support. I will put it in a green line so you will be able to understand. Okay, so in this point you can see the price has moved upward. From this point it taken a support, it moved up, so this will become a support region. Okay, again if you mark this point, it is another support region, because from this point also you can see the price has moved up, the price has moved up. So between this particular range, it is a good, I would say it is a good support range. Okay, when a price comes to this point, what naturally would happen is it will try to move up. But what is our next immediate resistance is? The immediate resistance is this is the point. But the immediate resistance will act at both ends. So this will become our immediate resistance as well, because in this point it has raised, but now the price has gone down. The previous support has become a resistance for this point. Okay, the price has still not gone below, so this will act as a support. Okay, let's play this scenario and see whether it I am just playing it. You can see the movement of the candle after that support point. It tries to move and tries to break that support again, but however the second support line takes a support. Okay, it tries to again break that support line, but it takes a neck again support. This is nothing but a sideways market. Okay, sideways stem. Okay, this particular range, whatever you have seen this particular period, which is nothing but it has moved within a particular range in a sideways. Okay, but at a one particular point it went high and tried to break this resistance level, but because this resistance is very strong here, it pushed the price again down. So you are seeing it went down again. It is trying to take a support at this point. Let's see what will happen. Okay, it drops, and after the candle which passed this one, this will become a resistance, and your next support will be, if you draw a line like this, extended line, it will give you a picture of where it will land. Okay, it can actually land here and it will try to move up. This point become a resistance, so it will get dropped, it keeps on dropping down, and it will come to a point. This we have taken from the previous support from here. Okay, we have taken the support from this point, so that's where it taken a support, but that support is not strong enough, so it tries to break this channel. No, it is not able to, so it is coming down again. Okay, now this become another resistance line. These lines we have taken from the past. We have not taken with reference to the anything we don't have any reference here. We have taken from 2016 or 2015. That is what it is showing the support or resistance. Okay, so when you are able to plot the support and resistance, you'll be able to make informed decisions. Now, if you ask me for the um, Rajesh exports, what will happen is it is still trading within this channel. Okay, as of today, it is trying to break, but it fails and keeps trying to be within this channel limit. If it breaks completely, okay, and if it trades outside this one, and if it maintains, there is a period after the, this is called as a falling wedge. Once after it completes this falling wedge, if it is expected to trade within a particular range, which is a sideways, and if it breaks the um, support line, or so breaks the resistance line, there will be a trend reversal, so that you can see by drawing or plotting a trend, you can see what is the next level of targets it will reach. Okay, usually for this patterns, I have given some references in the slide which will give you a targets. If it is a falling wedge, what will be the target levels? Okay, so those will give you an idea of what will be our targets for that. Okay, so in this case, I will I will never go with the target levels of the wider one. I will usually take what is the immediate resistance level, and if it sustains above that resistance level, then I will try to maintain the position. Okay, that's how we can able to predict the support and resistance. Clear?
Yeah, Bala.
Yeah.
Any other examples you want to take?
AFL India.
What is that?
FFLE.
Uh,
AFL India.
AFL India.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
AFL India. Okay. Looks like if you can able to see, um, there is this one. Okay. From here, it has taken a upward trend. Okay. And then short downward, and then I would say sideways until this point. Okay. To a point, and then there is a downward, and then from this point it starts going in a upward trend. This is a trend prediction. Okay, so you'll be able to see it is going a particular this particular point. If you look at it, it is a range. Within this range it keep on moving. After a range breakout, after a particular point, if you look at it, it breaks this range and gone down. So how do I plot that? I can just put a, from this point to this point, it is within the range. Even it is not in a range, it is kind of a flat pattern. Okay, once it broke this level, in this level, it broke this level and it started again taking an upward trend. So this is nothing but a consolidation phase. The price has moved from this point to this point. During this period, it gets consolidated, and then after that it tried to break this, but there is a good support coming in play in this area. Okay, so from that point it is a support zone. Okay, in this point it becomes a good support zone for him. So from this point you can see a candlestick pattern of an hammer, so which gives you a update that it will try to go move up from there. After this it never break the support line, so there is a high chances of it is going up. Okay, so once you draw this, you'll be able to see the support from this particular point is going up. So how do we predict after this point? We will have to draw the trend lines. Just try to plot maximum touching points. Okay, so you can able to see it is pretty much traveling within the channel. Okay, next movement it can come down, it take a support, and maximum it can go up to 1400. If it breaks this level, what will happen is, what is your support, immediate support? You'll have to plot the support. This is the support line, because previously it is a resistance, but at this point it become a support. You can plot a support line. From this point only it started rising, so this will become a support line, and this will become another support line. Okay, it has taken a movement from this point, it will become another support point. If it breaks this point, it will try to take a support here. If further breaks, then you will have to plot a different channel because it reverses the direction. So then you will be able to know in a within a what range it will travel, or to what extent it can go. Are you able to understand?
Yeah, Bala.
So what would be the next target if you ask me? Next target, considering there is a it is traveling within the range, and if it is a if it is a upward movement, the next targets will be, immediate target will be 1344 340, because this is where it got dropped. So 1335 is the next target, and if it further goes up, it can go up to this point, correct? So there is a possibility it can, because it is in the rising trend, it can able to go up to this point. Okay, and if you plot a resistance from the previous areas, you will be able to know where all the resistance levels sitting, because if you can see from this point is dropped previously, so you can mark this as a resistance, and you'll know exactly from this point it has failed, it came down, it is trying to go here. If it comes and break this point, well and good. If not, it will try to come down and take a support. If it fails from this point, it will be a reverse direction, so we'll have to see what is the immediate support level in the bottom. That's how we'll able to predict this, all just because of, from this point people believe that it will go in uptrend because it is going in an uptrend, and from this point there might be some resistance which is previously formed. See, this is a resistance previously formed, where people will have a fear that everybody whoever is holding the position or whoever is holding will try to sell it. Same happened, so it fall from that point. However, the next support zone, here it took a strong support because it has been supported. Previous resistance line became a support from this point, so it took a support and it tried to retain. Okay, this is just to plot the charts to see what is the trend in which it is moving. Based on that, you can make an informed decision whether it is going to be an uptrend or a downtrend, or whether it is within a channel, whether it has formed any particular pattern, based on which you can make the informed decisions whether I can hold the position. So in this case, what would my stop loss is? The stop loss would be this 1250 would be the stop loss, because this is the support level which has picked up. If it crosses this level, if it is not able to retain back, then it is going to be in a downtrend. So this will become a crucial stop loss for me, and as long as it is going up, well and good. Up to this point it can go, but at this point it will try to resist and try to come down. You can book your profit, or you can wait. If it crosses, if because the trend seems to be an upward trend, you can wait until it goes to the um, this channel top. If it continues with the channel, it will go within this channel, or if it breaks this channel, you can potentially see where is the next resistance level. Until this point, it can travel up. Okay, so this is about how the support and resistance plays a major role while you are trading it. Okay, I think I don't know whether we have enough time.
3 minutes left, Bala.
Okay.
Think.
Probably I thought of explaining you. There are various um, indicators which I also use. Okay, that will give you further more clarity in terms of what will be your next stage. Okay, so in a 3 minutes, I don't know whether you would love to continue, or you wanted to end this session. If you wanted to continue, probably I will send another invite. We can continue to explain what are those indicators, how do we make use of that to see whether I will be in a still good to hold this position or not.
Yeah, we can continue, Bala.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah, I'm fine with it.
Okay, so
Yeah, thanks.
what I am actually added here is um, this all chart pattern last waiting. This I'm not showing it because it is only for the Premier members. Otherwise, you will be able to use a smoothened HA candle and the EMEA 2050, those candles, those indicators. Okay, I'm just going to remove the drawings that we plotted. Okay, those are used to give you what is your next course of actions, where is your support level, where is your entry point. That's what it will give. And indicator also provides you some level degree of confidence for you to understand whether it is a right point to enter or not. I usually use um, Hall suit. Okay, so smoothened HA, this is smoothened Heihachi candle is what it called. Okay, when the chart patterns forming above the red indicator, sorry, green indicator, and if the candles are way above, it is not touching its wick, then there is a high possibility that particular stock will start moving in the up. As soon as it comes back and touches here, we'll have to be cautious that it had a high chance if the next candle forms below, it's going to go in a downtrend. As long as these candles, the indicator candles seems healthier, not like weekend what we see here. If it is healthier, we can hold the position. Okay, I think this session got dropped. Hope you are able to hear me.
Yes.
Okay, so as I mentioned about we also have to use indicators so that it will help us to understand whether we are in a right trajectory or have we taken a good position, how long can we wait. So there are various indicators available which you can use. You can get lost by seeing more of the more indicators available in the trading view or some other charts. Okay, um, but what I would normally prefer is very few indicators, and usually the trading view or I don't know whether how about chart IQ, but trading view allows only if you are a normal user, you will be allowed to use three indicators is what I know. So what all indicators will be effective if you can use smoothened HA and with the 100 200 moving average, that will be helpful for you to actually um, help you to understand the pattern. Okay, so here you can see it is again in a day trend. Okay, day chart, you can see this is nothing but a crossover where you can see I have used EMA 20 50 100 200, and I have actually used only two, which is nothing but 50 and a 200. Okay, so 20 moving average and 100 moving average, I have purposefully removed it so that I know where the golden crossover happens. Okay, so this golden crossover, you can see a 50 moving averages which is crossed the 200 moving average, from where if you taken a position, it it could potentially give you a good returns. Once after this candlestick or once after the crossover, if you take a position here at this point, from this point until this point, it is not touched back the wig or touched back the indicator candle, and the candles, the candle seems to be more active, not thinned, so you can still maintain this position, and the candlesticks, the original candlesticks of the price actions are forming above the 50 moving average or a 200 moving average. You can hold that position. Okay, as long as it crosses the smoothened HA or the 50 moving average, you can hold the position of that particular stock. So when you taken a position at this point, it can go up to what whenever it comes back or crosses the 50 moving average. Okay, this applies for intraday as well. Okay, but intraday you will have to use a different time frame. Let's take usually a 15 minutes or a 5 minutes time frame in which you can also see this same pattern. Okay, so if you have taken a intraday position of this particular stock at 1290, it gone to high as long as to this point and it came down. Why it came down? There might be a resistance sitting at this point. You can plot the resistance as well. Okay, it could be at this point there is a resistance, and this is one point where there is a resistance. So the immediate point you can plot it here. This could be a resistance, and the other one is this is another resistance which is sitting here. So in this resistance area, price tries to break this point, but it is not able to sustain and form further candles above. So in this point, if you blindly plot a resistance line here, on the day it tried to move to that extent and try to maintain. Our condition is as long as the indicator shows healthy and maintains well above the candles, it will be still continue the price upward direction. But in this case it crossed, so you can see it has formed a downward direction. This is a for a intraday. In case of day trend or a short-term holding, you can still see the position is healthy. It is trying to break this resistance, and once it breaks this resistance, there could be an high potential it can travel further. How long it will travel, that you can plot a resistance line. Here you have a resistance sitting here, so there will be a high chances it can go to this point and try to come down. But at that point, this will act as a support because you are getting a support. The previous resistance became a support for you, correct? So from this point, it will try to move forward. As long as the candlesticks are well above um, the indicator, you can hold the position. For a good example, you can see in the previous days when the candlesticks has gone above, hit that resistance. Are you able to see my screen clear? It crossed again here. It started forming the downward trend. Okay, so from this point, if you have taken a position, you could have waited for the resistance, because this resistance is not only from here, this has been from the past as well. So this is always being a resistance. Okay, so from this point it actually dropped back. You could have exited by seeing this, or once it crosses and started forming a candle below, this is the point in which you need to exit. Okay, if you wanted to hold the position for longer term, okay, let's take, if you wanted to hold the position for a longer term, what ideally I would suggest is, I'm just removing all the other indicators. I'm just going to add a moving average. Okay, you can use exponential or moving average simple. Exponential moving average. Length I will make it as 10. Okay, and then make this daily chart to monthly. it is not plotting in. Okay, so if you wanted to hold it for a longer term, okay, how long I can hold it? I have made the EMA level as 10, okay, because in a year we have 200 days, so usually we'll plot with the 200 moving average. So I'm taking monthly chart so that I am making it as a 10. So in that case, as long as the candlesticks are above the line, we can hold the position. When it crosses, or if it crosses and starts a candle, it is better time to exit that position, so that whenever you have entered, you can hold that position, and this is the point where you have to exit, and you can reconsider it when it starts forming the candle above the this moving average, exponential moving average of 10. This is only for a long term holding. And another thing is, you can able to plot the trend line to see whether I can hold this for a longer tenure. Okay, so it started from this point. You'll be still able to see it has still not crossed this level, so your position can be holded because it has a potential it will go in the uptrend. And what is your resistance? That you can always plot. Just avoid the wicks, try to join the positions. You can see there is a future for this stock. It can go up to 2000 also. Okay, that is the prediction. That is the prediction of the by using the technical analysis. Again, it is only based on the movement of how the price is happening, price is moving, not based on any fundamentals. In order to hold a stock for a long term, you should be doing the fundamental analysis, and then you have to come to the technical analysis and find out whether it is worth to invest on this stock for a long term. Okay, so when you do a technical analysis, you 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 have to do using the chart patterns and candlesticks and trend line analysis. That's what it will help you to what is the right time to enter, what is your entry point, what is your exit point. Okay, let's let's say if you wanted to take a position today in the stock, I will have to remove this one because it should be, if it is daily time frame, I'll have to consider that as a 200 moving average. The candles are well above, so which is good. And if you are going to take a position here, so you will have to see whether it is crossing this resistance, and you will have to draw the trend lines to make it supportive. Okay, as long as it touches here and started moving up, well and good, you have a potential to further uptrend. If it breaks this line, drops down, you have to exit the position. So what is your resistance level is previous channels where it touched at the red candle. This becomes your stop loss. And what is your target is? Your target is the previous resistance, whichever the resistance level becomes the target if it is going to be a short swing. Clear? Any questions?
Just to based on your experience, finding out the resistance or the support, what is the worth to going back? It is 2 year, 3 year, or 6 months. What is the appropriate time zone we can go backward to see the both resistance or
Okay.
support lines?
So if you have a reference within the 1 year period, okay, or a 2 year period, I will consider that. If there is no
Okay.
reference for some cases which we have seen, it has dropped. Rajesh exports.
Exports. Yeah.
We have seen it has so widely dropped. You don't know what is the next level. So you'll have to go back to the level in 15, 16 years back where the
Mhm.
actual support lies, or is there a potential breakthrough will happen.
Okay.
Usually I'll consider for a, let's say it's for just a positional trading for a 1 year or a 6 months, I will usually consider 2 years of the time frame to see where are the support and resistance lies. You can see this is a good support for this one, and you can see how strong that support is. If it is being supported multiple times from that 2 year period, that support line becomes more stronger. When it comes to that particular point, there is a high chance the trend will be more positive.
Okay.
Okay,
Mhm.
I think that's what I wanted to cover because that gives you a bit level of confidence on the how to plot the support and resistance and how do I see things um, in my experience. Same way you can able to plot as well. So that's the actual idea of demonstrating this session. Um, I'll stop the recording, and if you have any questions, feel free to ask, please.
Bala, how do you pick a stock? So there are thousands of stocks, right? How do you pick a stock from the market news or from the
Okay,
uh,
so stock analysis or identifying a stocks, there are tools which I use as well as market updates, and I rely on some YouTubes and various other channel updates. Okay, if you wanted to choose a stock, I would suggest better go with the golden crossover that always give a very high degree of confidence where you will always once the golden crossover happens, it will stay up at least for a week to 15 days or a month. Okay, golden crossover is nothing but whenever the 200 moving average being crossed by the 50 moving average, that is considered to be a golden crossover. For identifying such stocks, you have various tools. Okay, so that tool can help you to identify the stocks. You can always use even trading view as well, but there are various other screeners which you can use it as well. Okay, that will help me to identify a stocks. So if you look at my screen, this is again a screener um, from the trading view itself. Okay, here I can use trading view, and then you can set some parameters whatever you wanted and the prices, and I think there are some filters which is available as well. 200 moving average, with that you can find it. Oth- um, Other way is I'll try to bring up the simple tool. I think in the last session also I have shown this tool. This is nothing but the chart. So once you go to this one, you can type in golden crossover. It is, you can also create a free subscription, which will be no cost one, so which you can use it. So you can find whichever is 50, 200 golden crossover. That will give you a list of stocks. Okay, that okay. So these are the stocks from the last scan. Okay, you can actually modify some of this cash segment, whether you wanted to use it from the Nifty 100 alone or 200. You can choose something and change it, and the closing price on which it shows. Okay, so this is one stock which is mentioned as it has crossed the 50 moving average and 200 moving average, right? Just a second.